Good morning, Hoosier fans. Welcome to this slightly disappointing, befuddled, confused, defeated edition of Hoosier Morning After. This is Hoosier Morning After Rutgers. So yeah, I tweeted before the game that what we needed to do for this game was come out and carry over some of the things that we did from last game and against Ohio, and also then come out and not have any droughts. Try to stem some of the droughts that IU tends to do scoring-wise. And what do we do? To start the game, but a nice scoring drought. Indiana, obviously, if you watch the game, saw goes the first 3 minutes without a basket, and Rutgers takes the lead out to 12. Again, the final score for the game, only by 9 points, 50 to 59. I'm of the camp, and there's a lot of discussion on Twitter, and I still stand by it this morning after sleeping on it, that we had a chance. There were so many chances in this game, and it's amazing the score is what it is. The eye test does not belie what the score was. I felt like there was effort, at least, in this. I felt like the guys at least fought. Just execution. This was not a loss because of lack of effort and lack of fight. There might have been some lulls of that, yes. But it was just technical and execution errors. Bad decision making, both mentally and physically. So anyways, get it to 12. Justin Smith makes the very first basket on a layup for IU. And like I've said all season, that at least looked like a bright spot to me because I couldn't really tell from before then who was going to be the one that would step up. You could see the usual effort that you see from Joey, but I was unaware who was going to be that person to step up. And with Justin making the first shot, as I've said before, you get him involved early. And he tends to have good games after that. And he was obviously the one single, at least, bright spot if you have to look at it. So anyways, we finally stave that drought. And amazingly enough, we counter that punch. That was the one positive to think about, is that we got hit hard. And Rutgers is a hard place to play. You could hear it was very loud. They were a very energetic crowd. They were a very excited crowd. They're on an 11 game, now 12 game winning streak at home. So everyone's showing up ready to make noise for them and be behind them. And they fed off that definitely. They were also overly energized as well because their starting leader, their guard, Geo Baker, was going to be back after he'd been gone for 3 games. So they were very excited to come out and cheer and scream. And it was going to be a mountain that Indiana had to try to climb. And they did their best to try to climb that. And with that energy and with that atmosphere that Indiana had to deal with, they fought back at that first punch. It wasn't pretty. There were some questionable things that happened at that time. But with 6 minutes to go in the first half, Indiana fought back and brought it into their first lead, 22-21. And it stayed there for 3 minutes. So there's 3 minutes of play where neither team scored a basket. IU kept fighting. And then, again, just a turnover from your leader, senior leader, turns around and they go and make a layup. Then your senior leader goes and tries to make a 3-pointer. And so then they come back down and make another jumper. So quickly spreads out again. So there goes that lead. And we never saw the lead again. We started to get close, but we never saw it again. First half, we go into the half 24-31. And really the second half is just kind of another story of that. They kind of spread it out even as high as 14 at one point, which just consistent Indiana not making good decisions, not feeding it into the post, that infuriating thing that happens where we just lose our minds about playing in the post. That being said, they have a very physical presence down below, and they were jamming it in there. Made it very hard for guys to get going in the post. Trace Jackson Davis had a really tough time getting going in this game. They were doubling on him. He had trouble getting positions. When he did get the ball, he struggled with that. Again, the positive thing is that we were down by 14, and with, let me see, what was the time of that? About 5 minutes left in the game, we brought it within 7, 40-47. And then we just had some terrible decision-making, some missed free throws, just still kept it, could not get away from that 10-point lead. And, it's aggravating. And then obviously at the end was very interesting because they were very excited to win that game. The home crowd was very excited. They started I even remember hearing, might have been after the dunk, the Geo Baker dunk, that they showed way too many times on TV. It was at the 2-minute mark when he made that dunk. Their student section started that "oh so creative" that we know that teams like to use against us, the Hoosier Daddy chant, to which we went down. Geo Baker tried a heat check and missed a 3-pointer big time, and then we stayed within it. We got fouled a couple times. We got to the free throw line. We made them nervous, definitely, at the end of it. When we were playing the slow game of fouling, getting them to free throws and them messing and then us getting down, getting points, it was definitely, if I was on the other side, I would have been scared. So at least we tried to scratch back at the end. We tried everything we could. But overall, again, it was just a lackadaisical mental game today. And I say mental because of the free throws. The 3-point shooting, just the decision-making of not getting into the post like we should. Just mentally, this team was not there. Physically, they were fighting, they were trying to do what they could, but I think it was just a mental game in this one. It was not making the right decisions, not finishing your shot the right way, not finding your foot, rushing things that put us into that position. I mean, turnovers obviously is what rears its head. When you have a bad mental game, you're going to have a lot of turnovers. And this team had 16 turnovers, 10 turnovers in the first half, 6 in the second. So that is going to do it. I mean, they had 18 points off of our turnovers. So a few little things, different stats. You change one or couple different stats, and this game is totally different. Clean up those turnovers, and it's a lot closer game. You actually hit some of those threes. I mean, going 2 for 19, 10%. Nearly 10%. Hit a few more of those, it's a different game. Hit 3, 4 more of those. That's the game. Field goal percentage, 19 of 60. I mean, just could not hit any. Our little tiny layups and stuff were missed. Things were banking off. Hit a few of those. Totally different game. It's just, again, I gotta, now thinking about it and sleeping on it, it's gotta be, to me, it's down to the mentalness. How does this team change it? I don't know. You have leadership is what helps you get through the mental problems. We've seen that with Rob coming into the game and being the calming and centering force for this team. You need a guy that's going to come in and get a hot hand himself, and that can energize the guys around him and refocus guys. And the one person, again, I'm going to look on the brighter side that I see it as a positive, was that Justin was ready to compete this whole game. He had a great drop step drive to the basket along the baseline. That's a great move that he has. I wish he would do that a lot more often. But I saw him very vocal with the guys. He was doing a lot of talking, getting things going, getting things moving, doing a lot of the talking in the huddles. But I think when you're down like this and you're having such a mentally struggling game, you got to have more than one guy doing that. This team needs more vocal leaders like that are going to step up. So, I mean, we've got the shooters. I know Archie has missed on shooters in the past. He's tried to. He hasn't had the greatest 3-point percentage in his career at IU. I know he's tried with Evan Fitzner, recruiting guys that are known shooters, and Evan turned to be kind of a bust from the 3-point line. Jerome Hunter was touted as a very good 3-point shooter in college, and obviously has struggled to, was out his freshman year and has struggled to find his footing again. Demezy Anderson, again, known as a knockdown shooter, got in there and was brought in for that purpose, you could tell, because they ran some plays where they got him wide open, took 2 shots back-to-back on 2 possessions to try to make a 3 and missed both of those. So the talent is there. I just think the mental confidence is not there. Something is wrong. Something needs to get changed up to have these guys have that focus, find that little click switch. And the mental side of the game is the hardest part to coach, the hardest part to try to control, but the easiest one to get affected. If you have a couple bad plays, you can get down on yourself very easily. You can, even a slight hitch mentally can throw you off and can snowball you in your game. I just think that this team needs to find a way to look past that. They need to have that confidence. We need a good blowout game to get a little bit of our swagger back. Again, I don't know if it's too worth going deeper in the numbers of the guys. I mean, our rebounds, we did fairly well in the rebounds, rebounding 37 rebounds total to 36. The other thing that they struggled with these past 2 games as well, is kind of hopefully not heading towards a trend, is getting teams in foul trouble. We did not, I don't think we even got in the bonus in the first half. Second half, both teams kind of got in the bonus fairly quickly. But our free throw attempts were not up there. We only got them up to 14 personal fouls. We had 17. Free throw attempts, 12. Only 12. Yeah, that's very low. 12 is good for one half, not for the whole game for this team. On the flip side, from the Ohio game, we made them. For a while, that was our only offense, but we shot 83% from the free throw line, so that stat got fixed. It just shows you that you can't point necessarily to one thing being the constant problem of this team, because there's other examples of other games where this hasn't happened. And if this team, the only thing this team needs to do is figure out a way to put together a whole game. Maybe not even a whole game, put together 30 minutes of a game. I don't think we've had, except for a few of the preseason or early season, I should say, games, a game against the tougher competition where we've been able to put together 30 minutes of good basketball. We do that here last night, I should say, and IU wins. It's flipped maybe. IU wins by 10. Because again, you hit, we're usually 30%-ish from 3-point. So that means hitting 4 more at least, 3-pointers and right there is a lead by 2. Shoot a little bit better from field goals, up to, I believe, our average is around 40 or so, definitely above 40. So you do that, that means you're making from 31%, you're making 10% more. Right there is another possible 5 to 10 points. So that's a totally different game. Look, again, there's been a lot of discussion. The Big Ten is tough. The Big Ten is tough at home. When you have to go, I should say tough away. When you have to go away and play in this league, you have to play really well or you're going to get beat. We did not play really well and we got beat, but we didn't get blown out. I don't have the same bad taste in my mouth in this game as I did against Wisconsin. I think it would be a different kind of feeling had we not had at least a little bit of a chance to win this game. And I believe that we had a lot of chance. We had a lot of opportunities to win in this game. And we just were not able to convert. We were not able to finish the game. So yeah, I don't know what else to hark on. This needs to be a game that we watch the tape, we learn from, and we put in our past again. Guys got to be ready for the next one. Next game up is Saturday. It's a 7 p.m. game against Nebraska. It's at Nebraska in the Lincoln Center. Last game, if you remember, we played them. They beat us. We beat them. It went into overtime. It was obviously a tough fought game. It was a game where I don't feel like we played our best game. So I think we can definitely do a lot better. They are on a 2-game losing streak right now. So they're obviously going to want to come out and fight a lot more against us. They just played, let me see, looking up real quick. Sorry, Ohio State and Northwestern. They were both away games, so again, it's a tough place to play. They played Ohio State and lost to Ohio State by 12. So it's a game we're going to have to be ready for. We're going to have to, I believe we can improve and show better from the last time we played them. We can learn from what we did. They could also learn from us and play us better. Obviously, the information's out there on how you play against Indiana and how you try to defend us and what you do against us. So, yeah, I'll be here as always the next day. Hopefully it's a little bit more positive one, a victory that we can talk about, and we can talk about things that we changed and grew upon from this game. If we get our confidence, if we're able to hit down a few and get going, I think that'll be enough to get us the victory next week. So yeah, that's it for Hoosier Morning After Rutgers. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe. Check me out on Twitter at General Chadwick. Again, let's stay positive for this team. Let's cheer them on. Let's be there to support them. One more away game, then we're going to be at home with some very hard games, so we need to still stay there for these guys and be ready to cheer them on. Thank you, guys. Go out there. Be a good Hoosier. Be a good person. Don't forget to smile. Have a good day.